All right.
All right. Hello. Welcome to the show, Trucking Tendencies. My name is Trucking Tempo, and today we have a special guest. His name is Ray Aguilar, and he is legendary. It's a legend, a living legend. You're a living legend, man. That's 4 million miles safe driving without avoidable incidents.
Right.
So first of all, thanks for coming on, and uh, thank you for your service. And if you'd like to take it from there, just talk about a little bit about safety.
Well, thank you for having me, Ed. I really don't know what to say, though. You got me at a good time.
Well, where you started, or I know everybody has a experience when they first start, and you learned you know, someone taught you, so we can start there. Who taught you how to drive,
Yeah.
or where'd you learn?
Uh, Basically, I first learned from my dad. Um, I've been driving for over 40 years now. Um, I've been with Heartland Express. Well, Heartland Express slash Interstate for just about 30 years now, just over 30 years. Um, I got my 4 million miles of safe driving in 26 and a half years. Um, I got that here at Heartland. Um, but I think
So, what's
I don't
kept you
know.
safe? What's really kept you safe, and how do you approach driving when you're on this? Does it differ, like from the city when you get into a city versus when you're out on the highway?
Yeah, you got to be a little more cautious, and for me anyhow, um, in the city, I drive more with my mirrors and constantly checking my mirrors, uh, looking, two, three, four vehicles ahead. Um, you know, that's, I just always be aware of what's around me. Uh, I watch the traffic coming up behind me and different traffic patterns. Um, I pay a lot of attention to traffic patterns. Uh, so I think that's got a big part of what has kept me safe.
Right. Yeah, the traffic patterns. I noticed them too. There's a different pattern. They're like in clusters. I noticed them. They're like in like clusters. They come in like in surges of traffic, and then there's like empty gaps.
Yeah, that, and then while driving in the city in traffic, I pay a lot of attention to merging traffic, on ramps, and um, I pay attention to the traffic speeds. Like when we're coming up to an off ramp, some off ramps are a little bit more congested than others, and I keep an eye on that. Um, I think for the most part, is just being aware of where I'm at. Um, I, I, I think I read traffic really well. Just after so many years, you see so many different traffic patterns and stuff, and um, but I think that's for the most part for me.
Yeah, you. That's what's amazing. You got a database. That's like I was telling you before. You got a database of patterns and behaviors of four wheelers, and that's pretty. I think that's a priceless thing. Like you can't really put a number on that because you can't. It's just priceless. Like living proof of being safe is it's a daily it's a daily thing. I remember you laughed when I told you, but every day is my first day when I start driving.
Yeah.
It's you got to remind yourself like it doesn't matter how long you've been doing it. The very next day you can have an issue or an incident.
Right. Yeah. Um, and it's not just four wheelers. Today, I've been driving a lot of years, and I've seen a lot of different um, things. But truck drivers today aren't the same they were 30 years ago. It's a whole different industry out here. For me, my experience with whether you go into a truck stop or even on the road, it's not like it used to be, you know. And you have to just, I mean, watch other drivers, and I mean, when you're coming up to them, you could see, or for me anyhow, I can see when I'm going to be dealing with somebody that's a little bit more aggressive than normal. Um, I'll tend to either try to get by that person, or I'll back off and stay away from them. Let them get on down the road ahead of me. But um, that's another thing. I look for the aggressiveness of other drivers. Whether they're in trucks or four wheelers.
Mm. Yeah, the trucks are. Yeah, you're right on that. That's what I've noticed as well. The trucks are the very aggressive. They're like the young guys, right? In trucks and pickups.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, I don't. I think all ages. I mean, they're just it's just driving today, whether over the road or in the city, is very challenging. There's just so many um, different kinds of drivers. And that just you try to judge or other drivers. Just you can. For me, I can see what kind of drivers are around me. You know, some you know I could watch them coming up behind me, and I could see they're changing lanes. They're not using turn signals. That guy, when he comes by me, I'll keep a real close eye on him. You know, um, like I said, I use my mirrors a lot, especially in city driving.
You're right. Yeah, I noticed. Here's one I picked up. I'm not sure if you do this. I can't do it at nighttime, but you can do it in the daytime. You start. I start noticing vehicles that are really beat up and not taken care, well maintained, and I those are ones that are like my red flags. When soon as I see them go by me or something, I pay attention to their tires, and I look at their tires, and sometimes they're dangerously low. And as far as that car goes, I just keep an eye on him until he gets beyond my distance, So that's um, a little trick that I picked up. You got anything like that, or what else do you
Yeah,
do?
I've noticed that's something I pick up on too. And at nighttime, I pay attention to headlights. Um, some guys will have their headlights out of adjustment. Um, or they won't have marker lamps, or the it just those are things that I look at. Like you say, vehicles that aren't well maintained. Um, that's how I identify them at nighttime, is by just headlights being out of adjustment, or just they're driving with high beams because they don't have a low beam.
You're right.
And and every time they come by you, more times than not, there you could tell that it's not a very well maintained vehicle. So, and those I pay a little more caution with them, or that yeah, they tend to be the ones that don't have they don't have good maintenance on their vehicles, like you say, the tires, or just whatever. Some of them guys that have loose articles in the back of their pickups, and stuff. Keep an eye on stuff that's flying out, and
Yeah.
um,
Yeah, that's cool. So I know we can go on and continue on, Ray, but you're getting off the clock right now. So appreciate the time and the few minutes you can share with us here today, and get this information out. Yeah, thank you.
all right, Ed. Hey, well, thanks for having me on, and I just hope it helps somebody out there. Um, the main thing I could tell anybody else is not be in such a big hurry all the time. And I mean that can get you in trouble. Um, you know, use your mirrors, watch the vehicles way out ahead of you, and keep an eye on traffic patterns, and learn to read traffic speeds on other vehicles. Um, you know, A lot of times you can tell there's a person up in front of you and they're slowing down and they won't have brake lights. That guy you got to watch for really close. But thanks for having me on, Ed.
Okay, no
Take
problem,
care.
Ray.
Have a
We'll
great
do
day.
another one. I don't know, sometime down the line.
All right, sounds good.
All right, thank
Thanks
you.
for having me on. We'll see you now.
All right, see ya.